Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Are you ready for another Can't Sleep Creations collaboration? And this one is the Gingerbread Mania that I am co-hosting with my good friends Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling and Monica from Up All Night DIY. Let's get started on DIY number 1. Now I found this piece at the ARC thrift store. It was 99 cents. It wasn't on sale, but it's still a good price for this item. And it's just cheap plastic, but I'm going to make this into some gingerbread ornaments just using the bells, and I might use the bells in the middle too. But I got to get everything off of here and pull all the bells apart. And of course I will be saving this bow. I might use it for something else down the road. All right, now that I have all that taken apart, I did take some of my white spray paint and spray painted everything. I will be using some regular acrylic paint over it too. So this is what I'm going to be using. It's called Wicker White. And I just want to go ahead and paint this because it is a much brighter white than my spray paint was. And this is going to be all my icing for the gingerbread ornaments. And I'm going to go ahead and do both sides of each bell. All right, now that they're dry, I'm going to be taking some Model Magic clay here. I'm going to roll it out, and this is going to be my gingerbread part. So this is more looking like, like gingerbread cookies that you make, and then you ice it for your ornaments. So I'm going to get this to a good thickness. I'm going to push this on here a little bit. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut around. Okay. And I also need to cut on the inside here too. So I think this is going to look really cool. Here it is cut out. And, I thought it was going to look cool. Unfortunately, guess what? The foam clay, it shrinks. So I decided to do Plan B, which I just took some scrapbook paper that I already have. Kind of has a leather texture to it. And I painted it with golden brown. And now I'm just going to be tracing over these, and I will be cutting all of these out, and I'm just going to glue these to the back. It just didn't work out with the clay. I probably need to think of a different way to do it. I did try it by making it bigger also, and that kind of worked. I had it all painted, and I couldn't get any kind of glue to stick to it for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't know why. So this is Plan B. And I think it looks great. I even painted the back, and I took some Mod Podge in the gloss and covered everything with it. Now, I still want to kind of use these, and I have some puff paint that I want to put icing details on it, but that didn't work out either. I was having a hard time, especially on that teeny tiny bell. So I scrapped that idea. We're just going to leave it the way it is. I'm taking some white ribbon here, and I'm just going to cut it off and tie a knot, and this is going to be my hanger so I can put it on a tree. And I will do that on the other two bells. All right, now that that is done, I have one of these beautiful picks that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut some of these pieces off, and we are just going to be hot gluing them to the top just to dress it up at the very top of the bells. And I'm also going to cut off this poinsettia because I'm going to use some of the petals to use as leaves on here. So I'm just going to figure out how I want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and use a bit of the evergreen pieces also. Just going to hot glue everything on here. and tack it down right there. Let's get some of these leaves on here. I also cut up that one section that had the bigger leaves on it because I thought that would work out better for this large bell. Just going to cut that off just a little bit, make it a little bit shorter. All right, so I'm going to get all my little details on all 3 bells here. Then I'm going to go hang them on my tree. And then I will show you how they look on the tree at the end of the video. All right, let's go ahead and do DIY number 2, which is my last DIY. So I am going to be making a gingerbread snowman. So I have my styrofoam ball here and my Model Magic clay. I'm just going to get this warmed up just a touch. Be rolling it. And I want to get this pretty thin. And I will wrap the whole styrofoam ball with the foam clay. I'm probably going to have to use 2 pieces. This just wasn't quite big enough. I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit here and smooth it out. All right, now the whole ball is covered with it, and I did take a little bit of water to smooth it out, and now I need to make a nose. And we're not going to do just a regular carrot nose. I'm going to make a little ball here, going to do a little squishy, got to squish it on each side to make it come to a point. I'm not going to be painting this a carrot color. Just going to roll it on its side just a little bit here to get its shape. See how that's shaping up nicely? Just keep rolling it. And kind of liking the shape, going to kind of make it a little bit skinnier here at the tip. Roll it just a little bit more. All right, and it's going to be attached right about there. I'm going to take a little bit of a toothpick here. I cut off a little of the end, and I'm going to be sticking it on here. Actually, no, let's take it out of that and get it in the styrofoam ball first, because I'm just going to kill that nose. There we go. Now I want to blend this in with the head. So I'm just going to be taking a little bit of water on my fingertips and smooth it out. I'm also going to take my little wooden skewer here and push it in like so. Just keep blending it in just to get rid of that seam. Adding a little bit more water. Okay, and then I'm going to let this dry. And I did let it dry for 2 days. And I'm going to be taking this golden brown. This is the same color that I used on the bell ornaments. I'm going to be painting everything but the nose. And I have a feeling this is probably going to take about 3 coats on here. All right, everything's on here. I also took some wicker white and painted the nose. I'm going to make this more like a peppermint thing going on here. And I'm going to go around it with my tomato spice here. I'm going to do this off camera, so I got to hold it close to my chest to do it. And I'll show you how it looks here pretty soon. Now this is going to be the base for my gingerbread snowman. Now this is something I'd started a few years ago with a bell. I had cut this candle stick off like this, and I was going to glue that and then have another piece on the top. And I thought that would look kind of cool, but we're just going to use this for the snowman instead. And this is going to be his little neck area that I made up with just some plastic steampunk buttons that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all glued together, and I used E6000. And I have my candlestick all glued up, and this is how the nose turned out. But now I want to paint this. I'm going to leave the bell the way it is, and then the top part also, because that's going to get covered up. I'm going to be taking that tomato spice and just painting this round ball section here and below the bell. And I have a feeling this might take about 3 coats too, since I'm going over this dark color. And I did sand it down just a little bit. But I am loving having this red down here. I thought about using more white, but I thought, no, let's go ahead and make him more of gingerbread and peppermint. Now I drew on my face with pencil, and I'm just going to take some black paint. So it's more like the eyes are closed here. Going to do some lashes. So this looks more like a snow woman. Let's just make it a little more fancier. So I'm just taking a really thin brush and painting all my little lashes here. Let's get the other side done. And that one got a little thick there, so I will go back and fix that. Let's get the mouth painted on. I also want to put some cheeks on, so I'm going to take that tomato spice color and use my stencil brush and pounce on some cheeks. A little blush for the cheeks here. I think this looks so cute. I also want to add some little white dots with the wicker white onto the eyes, just like this, and onto the cheeks. And I'm going to take my puff paint and go around with like the icing around the head. Next thing I'm going to do is make my little hat here with some of the craft foam. I'm just going to trace it on and cut the 3 pieces out. Now that they're cut out, I'm going to hot glue them together. I'm going to put the glue here on the edge and just attach it like so. Just line them up. Next, I'm going to put the top part on. And it fits more on the inside, so I'm going to put the glue on the inside. And put it in there. Push down just a little bit. Okay, then I need to glue it to the brim. And then I'm going to paint it with the tomato spice. Alright, so I've done a little bit more on here. I painted this white. I have these little snowflake garland here you get from Hobby Lobby. I painted it with the red. I took some of the puff paint and did a little bit of icing down at the bottom, and now I want to use the little snowflake garland just as it is and hot glue it down to the bottom here. Sorry, I'm going to move this where you can see it. And I am just tacking down the little bead pieces. All right, so now that is done, and you can see I've got the icing on the head. I also glued on a little bit of a dowel rod, and I need to push the head on. And I will tack it down with a little bit of glue also, just some hot glue. Let's try and get this figured out where I want to put it. Okay. And then I will add a little bit of hot glue to it. There we go. Now I want to take my red and white striped ribbon here. I'm going to cover up this piece here, and then I'm also going to make just a little bow tie. And here's the hat, and I'm also going to use some of that ribbon to go as the band on the hat. Let's go ahead and make the bow tie. Just real simple, just fold it like so, squish it together, take some wire, and twist it tight. You got a really simple bow tie. And cut off the piece there. Okay, so there's my little bow tie. And I've already glued on the piece that went around the neck. Just glue this on. And I'm also going to take one of those little white beads that was on that pick from my last project and put it in the middle. All right, let's go ahead and get started on the hat. Just going to hot glue this on for the band. And I'm going to tack it down here. All right, now I have one of these little pieces of tulle that I used on my little hat on my snowman in my last video for the shabby chic. I had an extra one. So I'm just going to glue that here to cover up the seam. Then I want to put something in front. So I'm going to take that poinsettia from my last project that I had cut some of the petals off, and I'm just going to glue this on here to the hat. I think it's perfect size. Let's get that glued on right there. And yes, my little tool thing fell off there. I will glue that back on. I also have 3 little pip berries here that I cut off of a pick that I'm going to hot glue into the center of the poinsettia just to add some more red here. Try and get that in the right position. Let's get that last one glued in. Okay. And I am also going to use a red button on the back here to cover that up. So here's how it looks. Think this looks so pretty, but I want to put some snow text on here. Got to cover my ridges up there. I think it'll be really cute to have snow text kind of hanging down. So I have my snow text here, and I did water it down just a little bit so I could work with it a lot easier on here. Because it is kind of thick, and I wanted it just a little bit watered down. So I'm going to do the whole top here to cover up the seam so you don't see it. Then I'll start pulling down some onto the hat. And see, some of it already started falling down. That's kind of nice. Let's kind of add some going down. Going to pull that back a little bit so I can add some going down that seam in the back. Cover it up a little bit. All right, I think this looks really cute. After I glue it on, I'll add some more to the brim. All right, now I decided to add a little bit more to the bow tie. I wasn't liking it, so I cut off a couple pieces here, and I'm just gonna glue the ends together like so. Make a little loop, and then I'm gonna hot glue it to the back of the bow tie. I like this better. Sticks out a little bit further, and it kind of almost looks like the ribbon candy. Tack that down just a little bit right there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get the other one done real quick. All right, now the hat is all glued on. I added more snow text to it, and then I had another little pip berry that is stuck there in the middle of that berry. I thought it looked really cute. I also added some pearl beads here just to cover up that section. I think this looks so adorable. So let's check out everything. First, we're going to look at the ornaments. Now let's see how this adorable snowman looks over here on my hutch. All right, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please be sure to check out everybody's videos. I have the playlist link down below in my description box, along with Dawn and Monica's channel links. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.